Hey, I have a message for God's property. This message is for God's property. If you are God's property, come on in, come on in. I won't be long. Listen to this. When Christ told his disciples, let's go over to the other side, and I'm coming from the book of Luke, let's go over to the other side. They got into this boat, right? And in the boat, the storms and the waves, a violent storm just started. And the waves and the winds were raging, so much so that water was filling up the boat, and the disciples began to get really afraid. They thought they were going to die. Like, you got to picture this, being in a sea, in the middle of a sea, and the winds and the waves are raging, and the boat is filling with water, and Christ is fast asleep. Fast asleep. And they're like, Master, we are about to die. We are about to die. And he's fast asleep. They wake him up. He gets up. He rebukes the waves. He rebukes the wind. He speaks to the waves. And he says to them, where's your faith? But listen to this. They are tripping because they feel like they were about to die. But he didn't have a problem with sleeping when all of this raging wind and the storm was blowing and the boat was rocking and water was coming in the boat. He was fast asleep. Why? It was nothing new to him. Just like in the beginning, when he was hovering over the face of the deep, he was hovering over the winds and the waves. He was hovering over the waters when Moses stretched his rod over the Red Sea and it parted so that the Israelites can walk over on dry ground. He was hovering over the River Jordan for Joshua and the 12 priests when they were carrying the ark. He was hovering over the waters for Elijah's mantle to strike the water and it parted for him to cross over. He was hovering over the water for Peter's great catch. He was hovering over the water. So him sleeping while the winds and the waves were raging was nothing. It was but a light thing. So what am I saying? We have to know that when we're God's property, he is watching over us. God watches over his property just like in the beginning. The Spirit of the Lord hovered over the face of the deep. He is hovering over his property. He is hovering over us. Guess what? He watches over his word to perfect it and see that it comes to pass. Now, here's another thing. We got to think about where we're going. See, the winds and the storms were raging. It was a violent storm. But where were they going? When the boat stopped and they hit the ground, the first person that cried out was the man possessed with the demons at the Gadareans. So the enemy is not worried about where you're coming from. He's concerned about where you're going. But I'm here to tell you today that you need to let him know you God's property and God is in the boat. So tell the winds and the waves to back up.